It's good to have you on Dott TV Midday News. I am Ife Arono. Delta government has assured members of the National Youth Service Corps NYSC serving in the state of adequate security. Now, this is just as the governor of Delta State urged corps members to contribute meaningfully to national service and community development. Governor Sheriff Oberowori gave the charge at the closing ceremony of the 2026 Batch B Stream 1 orientation course in Iseluku and Yocha North local government area of the state. Priscilla Ifani reports.
Representing the governor of Delta State, the secretary of the state government, Dr. Kingsley Emu, said Delta State is a safe haven for corps members. He also noted that Deltans are hospitable and charged the corps members to believe in Nigeria and contribute their quota to the development of the country.
We are interconnected, and then there are a lot of economic activities. Even though our GDP, the highest earner in our GDP, not even non-oil GDP, which is, you have to look at services. Services comes first. It used to be oil. Oil accounts for about 30% of what we have here, but it is the highest foreign exchange earner in Delta State. But you see more of farming, more of trading, more of petty industries running. So you have yourself the opportunity to align with those environments.
The NYSC coordinator Delta State, John Fandi Kwangi, praised the deposition of this set of corps members. He asked the corps members to affect their host communities positively. He advised the corps employers to provide accommodation for the corps members to get the best from them.
My gentlemen corps members, as you proceed to your places of primary assignment, I urge you to uphold the ideas of the scheme, be law-abiding, respect the customs and traditions of your host communities, and discharge your duties with diligence, humility, and integrity.
The corps members were posted to places of primary assignment within the 25 local government areas of the states. Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News.
While the growing number of homeless children in Asaba, the Delta State capital, has become a source of concern for residents and stakeholders. Across different parts of the city, children can be seen sleeping on the bridges, roaming the streets and struggling to survive without the care and protection of parents or guardians. Victoria Monday completes the report.
These children, who should be in school and preparing for a brighter future, are instead exposed to hunger, abuse, exploitation, and other social vices. This trend poses a serious threat to human capital development, limits economic opportunities, and undermines efforts to build a productive and educated society. Some of the children, however, say they lost their parents or guardians and have turned the streets into their only home. The Delta State Commissioner for Women Affairs, Princess Pat Ajudua, in an interview says the government remains committed to protecting vulnerable children and providing interventions aimed at reducing the number of children living on the streets.
The law protecting children does not allow children loiter about in any part of the state. And the ministry has done a lot to tackle this problem. Every now and then we go out evacuating them, reuniting some of them with their parents and families, the ones that families are traceable, the ones that are not, we take them to our center where we keep children until we're able to identify or locate their families. But there are also some who come from across the Niger. And when they come, they want to do street hawking, which is not allowed. The law does not allow that. Delta State does not encourage that. We don't want children to be on the street selling when they're supposed to go to school. So we go, we pick them, the ones that we identify as criminals, we take them to the appropriate places to tackle them. We have children's home in Delta State. We also, the ones that the children are poor and we can locate their families, we make sure that they get back to school, put them in schools, assist them one way or the other. So the ministry has been trying, and then we'll continue to try. There is no end to the work.
16 years. 16 years for that Kwale Park side. Building where they don't build, where they never do and finish. Sometimes police they come, they pursue all these people where they that side. So some of them they do people they pass for here in the night. They always collect their phone for here in the night. That's how they pursue them. I still go put me for school, I will go now.
Well, the trial over the death of Ogenemine Ogidi has commenced at the Delta State High Court in Asaba. 5 police officers have been arraigned before the court, where they pleaded not guilty to the charges against them. Our correspondent Priscilla Ifani was in court and brings details.
5 police officers appeared before Justice Ndoka of the Delta State High Court for Asaba Judicial Division over the alleged killing of Ogenemine Ogidi. The first defendant, ASP Usman Nuhu, was arraigned on the 1-count charge of murder. The 4 other defendants, ASP Oloko Daro Pamo, ASP Oko Kelechi, Inspector Goodluck Kingsley, and Inspector Omonihu Agoyebi, were arraigned on charges of negligence acts causing harm. All 5 defendants pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to them. Following their pleas, Justice Ndoka adjourned the matter to July 14, 2026 for the commencement of hearing. Counsel to the applicants and counsel to the defendants later spoke with journalists after court proceedings.
Defendants have been arraigned today. They've taken their plea and they are entitled, they have pled not guilty. But our case is very straightforward. Nobody has the right to make himself the accuser, the judge, and the executioner. What he has done amounts to mob justice, and we can't stand for that. We intend to pursue this case diligently and speedily, and I will urge all citizens and residents of our dear states to remain calm and just await the outcome of the process. And we're very ready for our trial. We're calling our witness on that day. And I assure you that we are truly very prepared. What happened was very abhorrent. We are happy with the conduct, but of course, he has the right to come to court and then, of course, plead his case. At the end of the day, we assure you that justice will be served in this case.
They took their pleas. The matter has been adjourned to the 14th. So on that 14th, we'll come back for trial and then other processes.
The case is expected to resume on July 14th when the court begins hearing evidence from both the prosecution and the defense. Reporting from Asaba, Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News.
And now to politics. The Nigeria Democratic Congress, NYSC in Delta State, has described the action of the Delta State House of Assembly, declaring the seat of the member representing Udu State constituency, Ebetama Ovie Collins, vacant following his defection to the party as unconstitutional. In a statement signed by the Delta State Publicity Secretary of the NDC, Macaulay Nwose, the party accused the Assembly of applying double standards, noting that politicians who previously defected from the PDP to the APC retained their seats without similar sanctions. The NDC condemned the decision, saying it amounted to an abuse of legislative powers and an attempt to silence opposition voices in the state. According to the party, the mandate held by Ebetama belongs to the people of Udu State constituency and not to any political party, maintaining that removing him from office over his defection undermines the will of the electorate and violates constitutional provisions. Similarly, Deputy President of the 9th Senate, Ovie Omoagege, has condemned the Delta State House of Assembly over the removal of Ebetama as representative of Udu State constituency, describing the action as hasty, arbitrary, oppressive, and illegal. In a statement he personally signed on Wednesday, the Obarisi of Urubuland said the House's decision was not constitutional, but a political move. Addressing the legal basis cited by the House, Omoagege argued that Section 109, subsection 1G of the Constitution does not apply without exception. Omoagege said a legislative mandate cannot be ended without hearing the lawmaker. warning that bypassing due process amounts to tyranny. Meanwhile, the Delta State House of Assembly has defended its decision to declare the Udu State constituency seat vacant, insisting that the action was taken in strict compliance with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution. In a statement issued on Thursday by the Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, Nkemweke, the Assembly responded to comments made by former Deputy Senate President Senator Ovie Omoagege, who had criticized the declaration as arbitrary, oppressive, and illegal. According to the statement, the House acted after considering documentary evidence placed before it, including what it described as the affected lawmaker's resignation and defection from the political party on whose platform he was elected. The Speaker's office said the resolution complied with sections 101 subsection 1G and 109 subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which provide that a member of a House of Assembly shall vacate his or her seat upon defection to another political party before the expiration of tenure, except where there is a division within the political party. Now, let's move on to the INEC, the electoral umpire. INEC is set to introduce downloadable permanent voter cards, PVCs, for voters who have misplaced or defaced their original cards. INEC Chairman Joash Amopiton disclosed this when he received the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, NOA, Lanre Issa Nilu, at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja yesterday. According to him, the downloadable PVC option will not be automatic or open to first-time registrants who have never collected a physical card. He further stated that affected voters must formally lodge a complaint at least 90 days before an election to enable the Commission to process the replacement. Amopiton said that the Commission would pilot the downloadable PVC technology during the off-cycle Osun governorship election in August. In other news now, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has confirmed the arrest of a former Minister of Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, over certificate forgery allegations. In a statement on its website on Wednesday evening, ICPC's head of media and publicity and public communications, Oko Ode, said Nnaji was arrested following the execution of a bench warrant issued by the Federal High Court of Nigeria. He was arrested with the assistance of the Department of State Services, DSS, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, and subsequently handed over to the ICPC for further investigation. According to the Anti-Graft Commission, the ICPC had earlier extended formal invitations to the former minister to his known addresses in Abuja and Enugu, as well as via his electronic mail address. Still ahead on the midday news, World Bank approves fresh $1.25 billion loan for Nigeria, plus foreign and sports stories coming up after this time. Please stay with us.
Of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News Hour, your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here We don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them. You're still watching the midday news on Dott TV. Now to the rest of the stories. The Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT, has suspended its withdrawal of services across Oyo State public schools following renewed engagement with the state government on assurances over measures to improve security after the abduction of teachers and learners in Orire local government area of the state. In a statement jointly signed by the union's Oyo State Chairman Hassan Fatai and Secretary Olukayode Salami, the union announced that the suspension followed a directive from its national leadership after reviewing the prevailing security situation and considering appeals by the Oyo State government and other key stakeholders. The union directed all public primary and secondary school teachers across the state to resume official duties from Thursday, July 2nd, 2026, bringing an end to the industrial action that was declared in response to the kidnapping of teachers and students in Orire local government area. NUT said the decision was taken in the collective interest of teachers, learners, and the public after the government assured the union that sustained efforts were underway to secure the safe release of the abducted victims. Meanwhile, the federal government has unveiled an ambitious digital education data system that will track every Nigerian learner from primary school through tertiary education and the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC). The government described the initiative as a major step towards ending data gaps, improving planning, and reducing the number of out-of-school children. Minister of Education Tunji Alausa disclosed this in Abuja yesterday during the unveiling of the Digital National Education Management Information System, describing the platform as one of the most significant reforms ever undertaken in Nigeria's education sector. He said the initiative goes beyond routine data collection, noting that it is designed to fundamentally transform education planning, policy implementation, monitoring, and accountability through real-time evidence-based data. And the World Bank has approved a $1.25 billion development policy financing loan for Nigeria to support economic reforms aimed at accelerating private sector-led growth, creating jobs, and strengthening the country's business environment. This is equivalent of 2.1 trillion naira at an exchange rate of 1,400 naira to a dollar. The approval announced on Wednesday came despite public criticism over Nigeria's rising debt profile and growing dependence on external borrowing. The financing is part of the Nigeria Actions for Investment and Jobs Acceleration Development Policy Financing Operation and coincides with the World Bank's adoption of a new 6-year country partnership framework, CPF, for Nigeria, covering 2026 to 2032. Now for news on the international scene, let's join Emeka Okonkwo.
South African police have arrested more than 900 people during nationwide anti-migrant protests that were mostly peaceful, but at times turned violent, with shops looted and one person shot dead. The demonstrations were organized by a coalition of more than 20 civil society groups, including the March and March movement. They were called to mark an official deadline for undocumented migrants to leave the country. Deputy National Police Commissioner Tebelo Muskili, at a news conference on Wednesday, said of 120 marches held across South Africa, 108 were peaceful, while 12 saw police intervention. Muskili stated that reasons for the arrests ranged from public violence and robbery to immigration violations. Meanwhile, an 11-year-old Canadian boy has died from rabies after being awoken by a bat on his nose and mouth. The incident took place while the child was on a visit to a cottage in Ontario with his family in 2024, according to a report in the Canadian Medical Association Journal published on Monday. The boy, who was not named in the report, swatted the bat off his face, after which his father caught the winged mammal in a pot and released it outside. The boy's parents did not immediately seek medical attention due to their son not having any visible injuries and not thinking the bat behaved erratically. But 19 days later, the boy began experiencing numbness and swelling on his face. The Canadian Medical Association Journal chronicled his family taking him to get emergency care over the following days, and both clinics and hospital doctors trying to diagnose his symptoms. Elsewhere, Russian forces have launched a major drone and missile attack on the Ukrainian capital Kyiv overnight, killing 13 people. Several neighborhoods were evacuated as strikes rocked buildings throughout the city, hours after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned Russia was preparing for a massive attack. Children were among the significant number of casualties, according to the report. Ukraine's Air Force said Russia had launched 74 missiles and 496 drones overnight, mainly targeting the capital. While the country's air defenses were able to repel most of these, 25 ballistic missiles and 12 drones struck 33 locations. And finally, the Vatican has announced that priests are members of a breakaway Catholic group that ordained 4 new bishops in defiance of Pope Leo XVI's wishes are in schism and excommunicated. The Society of St. Pius X, an ultra-traditionalist group, went ahead with the ordinations on Wednesday without papal approval, and despite appeals from Leo to reverse the decision. In response, the Vatican's doctrinal office on Thursday published a decree saying that the 4 bishops are excommunicated along with the 2 bishops who participated in the ordination ceremony. Excommunication means they are excluded from the sacraments of the church. It added in an exemplary note that priests belonging to the society and lay members who formally adhere to the group are also in schism and excommunicated. Emeka Okonkwo reporting for Dott TV News.
And for sports stories, here is Anthony Uche.
10 nations have now booked their last 16 places for the ongoing FIFA World Cup following yesterday's round of matches, with 2 more African nations biting the dust. England were made to work hard for their last 16 qualification by a brave DR Congo side, eventually winning 2-1 thanks to a hurricane brace. Ryan Sipenga gave the Leopards an early lead after just 7 minutes, with goalkeeper Lionel Mpasi making a string of good saves, but England eventually equalized in the 75th minute and scored the winner in the 11th minute later to send the 3 Lions through to the last 16. Where they will face co-host Mexico at the Azteca Stadium. In yet another disappointing result for an African nation, Belgium recovered from a 2-0 deficit to dump out Senegal in the last minute of extra time. Habib Diarra and Ismail Assar gave the Teranga Lions the 2-0 lead, and they looked well on their way into the next round, but substitute Romelu Lukaku pulled one goal back in the 86th minute for Belgium before Yuri Tillemans equalized in the 89th minute to send the game to extra time, eventually scoring the latest winner ever in a World Cup history in the 25th minute of extra time to book a place in the next round. The United States also booked their last 16th place following a 2-0 victory over Bosnia and Herzegovina and set up a match against Belgium. Folarin Balogun scored and was sent off before Malik Tillman's free kick goal in the 82nd minute sealed America's first knockout win ever since 2002. The US and Belgium also met in the last 16 match of the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, with the European nation emerging victorious on that occasion. Now on to some transfer news, where Super Eagles midfielder Frank Onyeka has completed a permanent move to Coventry from Brentford for an undisclosed fee, following his loan move to the CBS Arena in February. Onyeka helped the Sky Blues win the championship and return to the Premier League for the first time in 25 years. Also, Tottenham Hotspur are set to break their transfer record for a second time this week after agreeing a deal worth up to £100 million with Newcastle United for midfielder Sandro Tonali. Spurs previously had a bid of £80 million rejected by Newcastle, but are now set to pay an initial £92.5 million plus a further £7.5 million in add-ons. And the Italian midfielder is expected in London today for his medicals. From the sports desk, Anthony Uche for Dott TV News.
And that's it on the Midday News on Dott TV. Follow Dott TV across social media on the handle @DottTV. I am Ife Arono. Thanks for watching. Keep watching Dott TV.